Hello and welcome to the program People, Politics and Power. I am Imonia Marere. In a nation grappling with the grim reality of insecurity, the recent visit by some Islamic clerics from Zamfara state to the notorious bandit leader Turji Bello has sparked both cautious optimism and widespread controversy. Framed as a peace mission aimed at securing the release of kidnapped victims and fostering dialogue, the clerics' meeting with the bandit warlord underscores the complex and often desperate dynamics of Nigeria's security crisis, especially in the Northwest. While some view the move as a bold, pragmatic step towards achieving temporary calm and humanitarian relief in a region long ravaged by violence, others raise troubling questions. Does this gesture lend legitimacy to criminals? Does it undermine the authority of the state and its security architecture? And most critically, what message does it send to law-abiding citizens and to other armed groups? Does the visit lay bare the inadequacies of the state in fulfilling its fundamental responsibility of protecting lives and property, pushing religious leaders and communities to seek alternative pathways to peace, even if those paths risk moral and legal ambiguity? As the country watches closely, the Zamfara clerics' mission to Turji may well be a harbinger of the dangerous compromises Nigeria is being forced to consider in its faltering war against banditry and terror. Is this a desperate search for peace or a dangerous precedent? These are the issues that we will be trying to seek answers to on the program today. And we will be meeting our guest analysts who are joining us virtually and in the studio here to look at all of the angles. Stay with us. We'll return after this break.
Issues are critical, germane to Nigeria's democratic process.
Politicians can only be seen maybe on television by judges. They should not intermingle, because once you intermingle, then you destroy the systems.
When the personalities are big, important to national discourse.
When you reach certain stage in power and you demonstrate arrogance to the extreme, there's no other thing that will happen to you other than to fall.
When the developments are seemingly complex, confounding like a 1,000-piece jigsaw, that's when we require bold, sound, and analytical minds to help put the pieces together. Jigsaw with Benga Arileba, now showing Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. on AIT. Jigsaw, demystifying the issues. When the issues are critical, germane to Nigeria's democratic process.
Politicians can only be seen maybe on television by judges. They should not intermingle, because once you intermingle, then you destroy the systems.
When the personalities are big, important to national discourse.
When you reach certain stage in power and you demonstrate arrogance to the extreme, there's no other thing that will happen to you other than to fall.
When the developments are seemingly complex, confounding like a 1,000-piece jigsaw, that's when we require bold, sound, and analytical minds to help put the pieces together. Jigsaw with Benga Arileba, now showing Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. on AIT. Jigsaw, demystifying the issues.
The Nigeria of our dream, the Nigeria we need, is the united, indissoluble, and cohesive Nigeria which guarantees equity, fairness, justice, and prosperity for its citizens. That is our focus on people, politics, and power. It is fresh, insightful, impactful. It's a must-watch. People, Politics and Power on AIT.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us on People, Politics and Power. And we are looking at all the ramifications of the visit of some Muslim clerics to the bandit leader, Bello Turji, a few days ago in his hideout in Zamfara State. I'm joined in the studio by Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi. Dr. Shinkafi is the Executive Director, Petros, for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Also joining us virtually from Zamfara State is Mustafa Jafaru Kaura. He's the Senior Special Assistant to the Zamfara State Governor on Media, Press, and Public Affairs. Mr. Kaura, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me at this material time. Thank you very much.
Welcome. We also expect to join us in the course of the program by Dr. Yahuza Getso, the security consultant. Dr. Getso, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you and good afternoon.
All right. So let's delve straight into these issues. First, your immediate reaction to that visit by these clerics to the bandit leader.
Well, the visit by the Islamic cleric Yusuf Musa Asad Sunnah is a combination of good and bad news, and including even ugly news, because the security agencies are constitutionally mandated to handle or to protect the lives and property of citizens in Nigeria. So if the Islamic clerics can come as intermediary between the local communities in Shinkapi and its environs without involvement of the traditional rulers, then it raises a number of questions. In the fight against terrorism and banditry, any security conflicts, you apply two methodology, kinetic and non-kinetic approach. In the kinetic methodology, you apply total military forces through physical violence, through use of warfare, everything within the disposal of the security apparatus. Then on the issue of the non-kinetic approach, you apply series of methodology on non-kinetic approach. So the clerics, that is the Asad Sunnah, is trying to exploit the non-kinetic approach. But what are the strategies? What are the conditions? What are the terms? How can an Islamic cleric will go to some official of the Office of the National Security Advisor and also the Senate Committee Chairman on Security and Intelligence without involvement of the state government, without involvement of the traditional rulers, without involvement of the security and the community leaders and the religious leaders in that locality?
Are we certain and sure that in that delegation there were representatives of the NSA and the Senate?
The Islamic clerics in an Islamic gathering in Kaduna acknowledge the contribution of the Office of National Security Advisor and also openly acknowledge the role played by the Senate Committee Chairman on Security and Intelligence in the Senate. That is Senator Shehu Buba. So what raises a lot of questions. There is a lot of, there are some methodology which traditionally we are used to it. If an armed bandit surrender arms and release captives, these arms will be taken to the DPO, Divisional Police Officer in that local government. And that Divisional Police Officer will now take these captives and the DSS and the civil defense to the police state command. Then the Commissioner of Police will display these arms, take an inventory record of the arms, also make a fresh conference. The captives, the religious Islamic clerics claimed that they have released. I personally, I'm an indigenous of Shinkapi local government. I was born and brought up in Shinkapi local government. I reached out to the community leaders. I called the emir, who is the paramount ruler in that locality. I called him, I said, are you aware of what is happening? He said he had it, that they have released some captives, but he have not seen any. Even if they have released captives, they are not fresh in Kapi local government. And he has never seen even one dengon, and nobody come to his palace to display this dengon, and nobody come to his palace to the local government chairman to bring the captives. So traditionally, when they take the captives to the commissioner of police, they will take them to the state government, in the government house. And under the directives of the governor, will direct them for medical attention. When they were examined, they are medically, physically fit, then they will invite their family and they will be reunited with their family.
Okay.
So these are the thing which is now raising a lot of hundreds of questions. In the previous administration of Bello Turji, so armed bandits surrender arms and ammunition, more than 200 arms. In the same Shinkapi, the former sole administrator took these arms to the commissioner of police. Many captives were released. They were also taken to the commissioner of police. So why this one? It is hidden. Nobody saw this people.
So where are these arms and where are the abductees that were released by
that is what is raised hundreds of questions.
Okay. Let's
and
bring
why
in,
state government is not involved.
Let's bring in Mustafa at this point in time. Mustafa, thank you so much for joining us. So the question is, was the state government in the know? Was it put in the picture before this visit by the cleric? And what else do we know from the state government's angle about the abductees that were released and the arms that were allegedly laid down by these bandits?
Well, the position of Zamfara state government under the leadership of Dr. Dauda Lawal is clear, my brother, regarding the issue of banditry in Zamfara. Governor Dr. Dauda Lawal places high premium on the issue of security, and that is why in his 6 uncommon rescue agenda, security is the topmost priority. In doing so, there is no dialogue whatsoever or negotiations with the bandits. The position of Zamfara state government is exclusively clear regarding this issue, number one. Number two, we have demonstrated our seriousness. Governor Dr. Dauda Lawal has seriously demonstrated his seriousness and commitment regarding the issue of banditry in Zamfara and insecurity as a whole, by providing the community protection guards, by allowing the locals, the communities themselves, to protect themselves. You see, different from or unlike what was obtained in the past, that if a criminal is found in the market, killed or slaughtered or arrested, then that market will be closed for so many months. And then if it is within the jurisdiction of a district head or a ward head, that district head will be dethroned. Or if it is, you see, the communities that try to defend themselves in the past, then they will be arrested and then put in jail. Governor Dr. Dauda Lawal said each and every citizen has the right to protect himself, and that is what is happening. Now, coming back to this issue of the so-called clerics that breached the old protocols and come to Zamfara without even the notice of governor of the state, Dr. Dauda Lawal or any apparatus of Zamfara state government regarding the issue of either dialogue or negotiation with bandit came to the state government as a surprise up till the time now that I'm talking to you, because nobody knocked at the door of the state government to inform them of any decision. So the cleric and the so-called cleric and that of the senator of the Federal Republic in charge of this security and intelligence for them to go to Shinkafi 3 times in 1 month to parley with the notorious Bello Turji is a great surprise, and it raised 101 questions regarding the position of Zamfara state government in the fight of security, banditry, and all form of insecurity in Zamfara. So for a cleric of that nature, and maybe whether it is with the consent of the National Security Advisor, whether it is with the consent of whosoever at the federal level, we are yet to know. But we saw it on the pages of this social media platforms that people visited Shinkafi, and thank God that Shinkafi indigenous is very closer to you, and he has told you that there is no any protocol that is being observed before going to see these people. And the one surprising thing is that how will you go and negotiate with the notorious bandit criminal when there was massive onslaught against that criminal, against the terrorism and terrorists in that locality? And then of a sudden, you'll be hearing another different angle, different issue, different mission whatsoever, without even the consent of Zamfara state government, without the consent of the traditional institutions, without even the consent of those people that are being killed. I mean the locals that were being killed, maimed, their economy destroyed, everything of them. So many people are hospitalized, the economy crippled. What sort of dialogue is this, my brother, that a person will just come and start dialogue with a criminal without even consulting the state government, the local government, the traditional institutions, and even the victims themselves that are being that this terror is being unleashed on them day by day. It has crippled the issue of economy, the business community, the farming, everything is being crippled, and people are being killed unnecessarily. And then you say you just go and dialogue and make negotiations with that criminal without consulting. Okay, what is the fate of those people that have been killed day by day, that has been, maimed, that has been, everything of them is being destroyed? Nothing whatsoever. I can't just imagine what sort of, what has come over the minds of those people. And the worst part is another cleric, for that matter, that can say he is the man of God. And then he is just, bulldozing like that for him to go to Shinkafi and tell that he has gone to Shinkafi 3 times. He met with Bello Turji, and then how will you compare? How will you now put the two together when security agencies are looking for a bandit? A minister of defense, Badaru, said he told the troops at the theater of war, please capture Bello Turji alive or dead to me. That is the order given to the troops by the Minister of Defense, Badaru, when he visited the area probably about 2-3 months ago. But if the military and other security agencies, in conjunction with the community protection guards of Zamfara state government, cannot fish out Bello Turji, one will be surprised 3 times in 1 month that people will go silently and peacefully parley with Bello Turji, and then they discuss with him and even made mention of securing captives from Bello Turji. This is a serious surprise on the part of Zamfara
for
state
purposes
government.
of clarity, have you seen any of the released captives? And have you seen, or has the state government seen any of the arms that were supposedly laid down by Bello Turji and his gang of bandits?
Well, the way you had it, the way you saw it, that is the same thing the Zamfara state government is hearing about the issue of Asad Sunnah, an Islamic cleric that came to clear the air, that he has made with Bello Turji, that there are about 32 or 12 or whatsoever number of captives were released. They secured their release. We have not seen them. It has never been done anywhere in the world the way this type of negotiations or dialogue would, but it has never been done, my brother. I have never seen such, and I don't know what do they recognize? How do they regard Zamfara state government, or what are they up to? We really don't know. How can you knock on somebody's door? How can you come into somebody's house without knocking his door, without seeking his consent, without seeking his approval before you enter, and then you just started telling stories of different nature? Actually, it's a source of surprise to us. The stand of the Zamfara state government under Governor Dr. Dauda Lawal is clear regarding the issue of banditry. There is no negotiation, no dialogue whatsoever, and that stance is there. And then Bello Turji is still declared wanted, even by the federal government themselves, because there wasn't any counter directives regarding to what the Minister of Defense said about the issue of Bello Turji. Now, one will compare the two and see. While Minister is saying, go and do this by the troops, and then another person will tell you under the guise of the National Security Advisor, also going dialogue with the bandit, then, my brother, which one is which?
All right, let's bring in Dr. Gesso at this point. Dr. Gesso, you have heard the views from Dr. Shinkafi and Mr. Kaura, who is on the ground there in Zamfara State. And of course, Dr. Shinkafi himself is an indigene of that local government area. Now, if it is true what the cleric said, that they have visited Turji about 3 times in 1 month. What does that say about the attitude towards the authorities, the state government, the federal government, and if it is also true that it is with the knowledge of certain authorities in Abuja? Well, what does that say of our security forces? How could they have visited the man 3 times without the knowledge of our security forces?
Thank you very much for bringing me in. And the first of all, your topic is saying Zamfara Clerics visit to bandit leader, search for peace or dangerous precedent. I want to just make an observation or rather a correction. The cleric is not from Zamfara. And the clerics, the Asadu Sunnah and his team were cleric from Kaduna State, not a citizen of Zamfara, and he is not a cleric who is preaching. Of course, he is portraying himself as a national cleric who move around states to facilitate process of preaching and other things. But the reality, he based in Kaduna, and he is more known to Kaduna, and he is Kaduna cleric. You should call it Kaduna cleric rather than Zamfara cleric. Now, going to the what has happened or what is going on or what is happening. As far as I'm concerned, the visit by Sheikh Musa Asadu Sunnah or whosoever to Shinkafi area and to Bello Turji is kind of a Kannywood drama. I see it as a Kannywood. I see it as a Bollywood. I see it as a game being played by children on the street on an ordinary field playing football. And I see it as a compromise and undermining what is really the security, and undermining the capacity, ability, and the quality of intelligence and our security and Nigeria's security architecture. And it also signifies or describes a clear demonstration of compromising the ability of the defense headquarters, the defense intelligence, the defense intelligence agency, the military intelligence agency, the force intelligence, and all the intelligence system that we have. It means that it's a compromise and being undermined by either somebody in Abuja who I don't know, because I cannot mention Mr. A or Mr. B. You mentioned that someone or some group in Abuja. This group are really slapping the face of Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, really telling Nigerians that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration is never a serious person and is never a responsible government, because it's kind of undermined or it compromises and handed over its responsibility and authority to someone whose role in the society shouldn't have been what it was. That is 4. Number 5, the crossing through the state government without the consent of the state governor, without the consent of the director SSS in the state, without the consent of the commissioner of police, because we have not yet had the director SSS clearing the air that, yes, it was with my consent. We have not had yet the commissioner of police saying that, yes, it was with my consent. And also the other operatives, the Brigade of Guard, the Nigerian Air Force Base, and the rest of all other security coordination in the state have not yet cleared the air by making a public presentation, public pronouncement, declaring that we were part of the process that led to so ABCD. Number 6, I think the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration need to go back and take a rethink and understand who is, what is the authority, what is the responsibility of the Honorable Minister of State of Defense, what is the responsibility of the Honorable Minister of Police, what is the responsibility of the Senior Minister of Defense, what is the responsibility of the Defense Headquarters, what is the responsibility of the DIA and the NIA, and number 7, yes, Bello Turji has been declared wanted long ago. At a time when Nigerian defense security or whatever security architecture made mention that they are looking for 24 criminals or terrorists, kingpins, among which Bello Turji were among them, I have made a conference and I had made a kind of a press briefing through national, local, within the period of 9 days. And I made mention that I don't need the 5 million per person. All these criminals, we know them, we know where they are. And I have been saying it. And this remained my position. And I said, the emir of Shinkafi, the emir of Sabon Birni, the emir of Isa, all the white heads and the traditional, the white heads, the village heads, and all the philanthropists, and all the politicians like Dr. Abdullah Shinkafi and others, all of them, they know who is Bello Turji and they know why Bello Turji is. So I wonder why the federal government had to declare Bello Turji wanted. This is somebody that everybody is not in any hideout. You can't tell me that there is any thick forest in Shinkafi. I have been to all nooks and crannies in the whole Africa, not only Zamfara. There is no white head or village head or anybody in Zamfara that is not aware of Dr. Yahuza Gesu. I am like a citizen of Shinkafi by virtue of the number of times I visited, by virtue of my knowledge of all the words, all the political words, all the settlement, all the communities, all the traditional and religious head, and so on and so forth. So I see the visits and I see the controversy going on as just a kind of meticulous gameplay that is like the federal government is trying to distract Nigeria's attention into something else. But why should you even say that if any religious leader is going there, should be with the consent of the state government? There should be a presence of the commissioner of police. There should be a presence of the director SSS, commandant of the civil defense, and all the security operatives. And if the senator, who is the national security chairman committee on national security and intelligence, or whatever he may be, that is Senator Abuba Shehu. I think Senator Abuba Shehu should go back to his constituency in Bauchi and address the issues around his village. I know he is from Nabordo. I know why he came. I know the settlement where he was born. And I know there are security challenges around that area. So I think the senator should go back and address the issues in Bauchi and other constituency where he came from. Because there are a lot of issues there. There are a lot of challenges, security challenges, ranging from Zoro, Walijam, Lame, Laraba, and all other areas, Takanta, Wagu, and all the areas around the area, the Nabordo itself, and even around the community where he was born. Let him go back and address those issues.
Okay.
And attend to the people.
Dr. Gesu,
really
let's bring Dr.
concerned,
Shinkafi in at this point in time.
Play. And it's quite discouraging, disappointing, disheartening, and if it is demonstrating, the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is demonstrating to us that it's no longer serious about the security issues. Because if it's really serious, it should have the coordination mechanism that could have reached out to all the brigades and all the head of security agencies and also walk through the governor. As the Dr. Abdullah Shinkafi distanced himself, whom I know very well. I know Dr. Abdullah Shinkafi very well because I have walked around Shinkafi between the year 2008 up to 2011, 2012. And that was the first time in 2008, that was the first time I reported to the Commissioner of Police and all the security agencies the presence of AK-47 in the wrong hands around Shinkafi, Isa, and Raba local government, as well as Zurmi. Documents are there. They should go and endorse their archive. They will find my report that I reported these issues before all these issues escalated, and now it is being taken like a gameplay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gesso. Let's bring in Dr. Shinkafi at this time. He says that almost everyone that is somebody in Shinkafi local government knows where Bello Turji is. Do you know where he is?
Yes, I know where he is because I was born and brought up in Shinkafi local government, and I have gone to school, primary school, and even secondary school in Shinkafi. So all the localities, all the rural communities in Shinkafi, there was no any community where my name have not been ringing there. I have contested an election to aspire for a governor of the state 3 times or 4 times. So I have gone through electionary campaign in all these villages. And even his parents, I know his parents. So
is he from Shinkafi local government?
He is from Shinkafi local government, precisely in Chida, under Fake district. So the most worrisome, even yesterday he released a clip indirectly from his body language, attacking me personally, that I'm opposed to peace dialogue. I'm one of the people telling the governor stand very firmly that he should not go into peace and reconciliation with him. And one also Islamic cleric from Sokoto, Murtala Bello Asada. Yesterday it was just 3-minute, 28-second clip. He was intimidating us, calling all kinds of names. Personally, he's referring to me and that Sheikh Murtala Bello Asada, because my stand, I have said it earlier time with that number. I have been a chairman committee for prosecution of armed banditry related offenses in the past administration of Bello Matawale. I have been a member of committee for finding lasting solution to armed banditry in Zamfara State. The committee was headed by former Inspector General of Police MD Abakar. I was a member of Security and Intelligence. I was a chairman committee for illegal mining. Illegal mining is one of the root causes of banditry. So somebody calling for peace and reconciliation, but he was displaying yesterday sophisticated arms and ammunition. So what the cleric or what Turji is trying to display, it is a constitutional betrayal on the part of the federal government. Section 14, subsection 2B is very clear. The primary responsibility of every government is to provide security of lives and property and also provide welfare of these people. In this regard, what the cleric is trying to demonstrate is a clear failure of the institutions. Clear failure on the institution in terms of providing security, and also lack of coordination between the security agencies, and lack of respect on the issue of separation of power. We have federal government, state government, local government. If the Islamic cleric or whatever committee they will call themselves will visit Zamfara State to exploit non-kinetic methodology in ending this insecurity, the governor of the state must be fully informed. The local government chairman must be fully informed. The community leaders, religious leaders. So it is very unfortunate situation, very disheartening how the cleric and the whatsoever committee they call themselves have disregarded the federal character of Nigerian constitution in the issue of separation of power. So the governor have said a time without number since the inception of his administration that he will never ever go into peace and reconciliation with armed bandit. He coordinated a very good fight under supervision of the Office of the Director, State Security Service. He get a services of civilian JTF, those who fought Boko Haram in the Northeast. Deploy more than 1,000 in Shinkapi. Deploy community protection guards to attack Turji hideout. There was an intensive fight between the civilian JTF and community protection guard, which resulted to the death of one of the repentant bandit, Bashir Mania. There was an intensive fight network. There was a switch on all the communication network, Glo, Airtel, Nine Mobile, MTN, including data internet service, were switched off for more than 2 weeks in Oranamoda and Shinkapi axis. There was an intensive fight. Many of 2G foot soldiers, the fighters, were neutralized. Many of his lieutenant, co-commanders were neutralized. So when he saw this thing there at the Bandit, he was on the run. And he was declared wanted by the military high command. And he went to hide out. And he started making this contact. And that is how the Islamic cleric visited him in his hideout 3 times. So it is very unfortunate. All the local communities there, all the traditional rulers in Zurumi local government, in Isa local government, in Sabon Birnin local government, in Goroyan local government, in Shinkapi local government, know his movement in Kware, Pake, Kwashabawa, Mayasa,
So would you say that is a failure of intelligence on the part of our security agencies, that a cleric could visit him 3 times within a month, and or is he just acquiescence?
You see, I cannot clearly say it's a failure of intelligence gathering, because I have told you earlier that I have served in various standing and ad hoc committees in the first administration of Bello Muhammad Matoli. I knew how DSS and other internal security agencies do their work. They do internal information gathering, security gathering. And when they give it to the action agencies will not act. They were saying that they were waiting for order from above. So these are some of the challenges. It is not a failure of intelligence or security gathering, because the Director General of State Security Service and the Director of State Security Service in Zamfara State are aware of this civilian JTF. And the civilian JTF are the ones who are in the forefront under the directives of the Office of Director General of DSS, and also in collaboration with the State Governor, Dauda Lawal. Dauda Lawal provide all the logistical logistics for their operations. He was feeding them, giving them allowances, so uniform, provide Bumpalo vehicles. In Shinkafi, so, and also they are under supervision and directives of the DSS. The fight was along the way stopped by the so-called committee. And that is how they have lost confidence in what they are doing. As I'm talking to you, they are in Shinkafi waiting for order to go back to the Turji hideout.
All right.
So Turji has been talking of peace dialogue. Let me tell you the danger we have. Turji has more than over 2,000 rifles with some sophisticated weapons. Is Turji ready to surrender these weapons? The late Bashir Mania, let me just give me 1 minute. Bashir Mania, the repentant bandit who joined the civilian JTF to serve as a pointer in Turji hideout, repented about 4 years ago. He came to me in the committee, because since I'm from Shinkapi, he said he wanted to repent. Then we took him to the chairman committee on the committee for party lasting solution to the banditry. That is MD Gusso. And MD Gusso took him to the governor. He repented, but he have never surrendered one rifle. When I asked, I said, Bashar, why should you say you want to surrender and renounce this banditry activities?
So he left his weapons behind.
And he said he has 200 rifles with a chain of arms and ammunition. I said, why can't you come and surrender these arms and ammunition, the way Awol Dodawa and Sani Zakwe, the son of the Buhari Daji, did. He said, no, our stern enemy is Turji. And if we surrender this thing, Turji will come and wipe our community and kill us. At the same time, he refused to surrender the arms. Dulu, his junior brother, Turji attacked the community, ransacked them, killed Dulu, who's the most notorious bandit in Mania. And all the people of Mania were displaced by Turji. And that Mania is one of the historical towns in Badarawa district. So when you ask Turji, surrender, he will not bring an excuse that he will not surrender because he has some rivalry with some group, or he will tell you he has problem with Ankaremi, he has problem with Ansadia, and many others. Okay. And when you reconcile with Turji, what about others?
Okay. Well, Dr. Gesso, we know that you are in a hurry to get to somewhere else, but very quickly, very quickly, how do we draw the line between genuine dialogue and rewarding criminality?
Well, I think what the cleric and the office of the under the coordination or whatsoever is really compromising and kind of supporting the criminals and the crime, not really a dialogue. For you to have a dialogue, you must have the following items. One, you must have who is the criminal. You must have the crime against who. You must have signing sheets that will have name of those present during the dialogue sessions, if at all a dialogue is being conducted. And you must have, number 4, you must have a minute of the meeting. And you must have when I say government is in triangular, the traditional authority is a government on itself. The local government authority is a government itself. And then the joint forces between the federal government and the state government to form a triangle who will be responsible to oversee and supervise the process of whatever agreement reached. That is number 5. Number 6, you must have Bello Turji or whosoever, a criminal or a kingpin, to provide you with following informations. 1, where is the source of his arms? Who are resupplying them with ammunition and the arms itself? Who is supplying them with the petroleum? Who is supplying them with the motorbikes they are using? And all other social and operational equipment, gadgets, and other social needs. You must conduct a background check on those who have been providing and resupplying them, who are responsible of all the supply chain mechanism, and you must find a way of breaking it. And also, number 7, you must have an outline timeline that between so time and so time, all your arms will be handed over. So time and so time, your ammunitions. So time and so time, you provide us with all the phones that you have been using. And where have you been? So time to so time for you to release all those in captivity. So time to so time. And under all this, he must be under the control of a government, of an authority. And those operating around the area among the security, we must commend the Nigerian army. We must commend the Nigerian Air Force. We must commend all the security operatives, even though there are internal negligence and internal sabotage, which need to be dealt with, and also the issue of corruption. And also for you to have a sensitive dialogue, you must deal with issues of challenges, allegations, queries, questions being laid by the people from Koshabawa, from Mayasa, from Kuria, from Dola Kaina, from Dola Moriki, from Galadi, from all the areas of Sabombuni, Raba, Shankafi, Zurmi, Benin Magaji, and all the surrounding Isa and the like. You must have conduct a background check, and you must have a coordinated dialogue with all the kingpins, because he is not the only kingpin that is disturbing Shankafi and other LGs around. There are others. So what is their fate, and what will happen?
Okay.
And then Number 8, you must be ready. You must have available direct involvement and consent of the state government and even the traditional authorities, that is the traditional institutions, as well as respect for also the religious clerics who are from Zamfara, who are in Zamfara, must have been consulted and must have been worked with. And if you cannot
Dr.
have this,
Gesso, our
cannot,
time is
what
fast
happened
running out.
between Bello
Let's
Turji
bring in
and Asad
Mr.
Sunna,
Kaura at
a
this
dialogue.
point. Yes,
Okay.
let's bring in Mr. Kaura at this point. And I'm just going to ask you, Mr. Kaura, what steps the state government is taking to ensure that there is no repeat of this kind of situation where clerics on their own go to meet with bandit leaders and pretend to have a peace negotiation, as it were. What safeguards do you think the state government can put in place to prevent the abuse or manipulation of such processes?
Well, you see, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Gezo and Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, Asad Sunnah and whosoever that has the guard and sagacity of going to Shinkafi local government area without the consent of Zamfara state government, they cannot do that alone without the support of the federal authorities. Asad Sunnah did not tell the whole world of who are behind his visit 3 times in 1 month to Turji. When there was a declaration of Turji's whereabouts to bring him dead or alive is still in force, then Asad Sunnah, who is from far away Kaduna, as rightly stated by Geso, cannot just come like that without, the backing of the federal authority. And he has not stated clearly who are those people backing him, apart from this senator of intelligence and whatsoever of the Senate, Buba Shehu, who has been all along been having dual face regarding the issue of banditry in Zamfara state here. He has been chipping on, he has been making us difficult for them, for Governor Dr. Dauda Lawal to wage war on this issue of insecurity. So therefore, if you say Asad Sunnah and other clerics that are coming to see Bello Turji, what is the efforts of Zamfara state government? Well, the Zamfara state government's stand, I told you, is clear regarding this issue of banditry, and he sneaks, with the consent of the security agencies in Zamfara, because there is no way Asad Sunnah should visit the hideout of Turji when armed troops are looking helter-skelter to eliminate Turji, and he will go there peaceably to see Turji without, the backing of the federal authority. As stated by Dr. Gesu, that there must be a dilemma on the part of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration regarding the issue of waging war against the insecurity, not only in Zamfara, because when you say you want to put negotiations with Bello Turji in Shinkafi, then what is the fate of other notorious bandits that are in Birnin Magaji, that are in Kauran Namoda, that are in Zurmi, and even the neighboring state of Katsina that being terrorized by different bandits, kachallas, and kingpins in those localities. But he has only made mention of Turji. So Asad Sunnah and all other clerics that visited Turji must have the backing of the federal government agencies that before he even gets there. There is no way you can tell me that he will go there single-handedly without the backing of the federal government for him to go and negotiate with Bello Turji, and even of saying that he has secured the release of certain number of victims from him.
All right, Mr. Jafaru,
and allow this thing to continue, and then we are even suspecting...
Mr. Kaura, our time is up and we must go.
Regarding the issue of
thank you so much. I think that the point has been made. Our time is up, we must go. I want to thank all of you for coming on the program and giving us some deeper insight into what is happening there in Zamfara State, particularly in Shinkafi local government, because even as late as yesterday, there were still reports of these bandit groups still collecting monies from from villages and from areas in that area. They are demanding as much as 56 million from farmers before they can go to their farms to farm, and another 56 million before they can go to the farms to go and harvest. And we understand that each village is being asked to pay about between 800,000 and 1 million to do that. And in fact, there was also the case a few days ago of the abduction of a traditional ruler, but who fortunately was released or rescued, as the case may be. So this is an ongoing discussion, and we must keep our fingers on it and be alert. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Sani Abdullahi Shinkafi, for coming on the program. You are the Executive Director, Patriots for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development. Thank you for sparing your time. Mr. Mustafa Jafaru Kaura, Senior Special Assistant to Zamfara State Governor on Media, Press and Public Affairs. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And of course, our good friend, Dr. Yahuza Getso, security consultant who is always there to answer our call anytime we call him. Thank you so much, Dr. Getso. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and that's our program for today. Please join us again when we bring you a fresh edition of the program, People, Politics and Power. Bye for now.